Hello there guys, today we're gonna talk about the infamous beef that Vader had with the Death Star. It's been talked about for years and I finally decided to do something about it and explain everything in detail as to why Vader would feel that way about the Death Star. So right off the bat, it doesn't seem that Vader really hated the Death Star, but he wasn't fond of it mostly because he thinks it's a waste of space when compared to the magnificent power of the Force. If you want to read a little more about Vader's thoughts, then I would suggest you read the EU novels of The Rise and Fall of Darth Vader and the Death Star novel. From the Death Star novel, we can get a sense of his feelings from this quote. It tells us a bit of Vader's thoughts and that the battle station would undoubtedly be useful, though the power all its vaunted weaponry and battleships could produce paled against the power of the Force. However, he recognizes that the Emperor wishes it, and so it would happen. Now, from the other novel, The Rise and Fall of Darth Vader, we get a bit more. There, it undoubtedly explains that the Death Star did not in any way impress Darth Vader. In fact, Vader had never considered the Death Star as anything more than a deadly, oversized toy, but because the expensive superweapon was necessary for the Emperor's schemes, he had been duty-bound to protect it. However, later in the novel, you could see that Vader has a bit of a reason to be fond of the Death Star as well. It is said that when he returned to the Devastator, Vader considered the fact that Tatooine could be reduced to dust by the Death Star. This idea would give him joy. He wondered if watching the planet made of sand obliterated might bring him any pleasure. It went on to be a possibility that he wouldn't really rule out. Lastly, the conclusion between the Death Star and Darth Vader is simply Vader's thoughts about this superweapon is that the Death Star is actually a big budget superweapon program that ate up resources and manpower. It was not designed to cover the entire galaxy, but rather to centralize power under Palpatine's command. In Vader's view, such resources and Republic credits could have been used more appropriately and created more starfleets and advanced fighters that could have done something similar while also expanding the Empire's hold. Essentially, you have to understand that Palpatine and Vader's goals were much different. Palpatine wanted to create a Sith Empire for himself. He's essentially a dictator, desperate for immediate and absolute power to protect his own desires. Whereas Darth Vader desires to rule the galaxy with order and put an end to destructive conflict that usually Palpatine has many times started and then ignored. In that sense, the Death Star ultimately supports Palpatine's goals above Darth Vader's. Never mind the fact that such a weapon has caused the Empire to grow overconfident, and that is seen in A New Hope and more so in Return of the Jedi. So what are your thoughts about the Death Star? Feel free to let me know down in the comments, and thank you for watching. Alright Star Wars fans, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, feel free to leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't miss out on any of my future videos that I will post on this channel. Have a fun day my friends, and in closing, don't forget, may the Force be with you always.